video, I'm going to be showing you why you should be using motion in your offense, and to be a little more specific, why you should be using orbit motion. Here in this video, I show a variety of different ways that I used orbit motion to beat my opponent in Road to the College Football Playoff. Alright, so the first play of the game, I usually like to run the ball just to kind of get a feel for what kind of defense they're going to call. In this case, I went with the motion mesh. And as you can see, I got this motion on here, and he's definitely in man coverage. This guy's supposed to be guarding him. He starts to leave, and he actually carries all the way over. And what I'm looking for is to see if he's going to kind of guard this table route, and he doesn't, so I'm able to hit that. I immediately know that he's going to be running man coverage this game. Most people, they like to run, one or two defenses, and a lot of the times it's man zero blitzes. Okay, so you can see that he is running pinch bucko, so he's going to be running a man zero blitz. Most people that run these blitzes, they run it every single down. So I decided to go with the orbit sail halfback angle. What I like about this play is, it's got an auto motion on it. It's got this, orbit motion from Hunter. He's going to run this little orbit, and immediately I'm going to be able to tell if he's in man coverage or not. And if he is, my first read is going to be Lindenmeyer, or I guess Lindenmeyer is more of my second read. Nelson's my first read because, again, when people are going to run zero blitzes, they like to kind of cover that middle of the field, and most of the time they're going to be lined up on one of these running backs. So he's most likely going to be late trying to get to the running back. So we'll let this play out. As you can see, I start running the orbit motion and that guy's following. Now, his user is way over here. He's supposed to be on Nelson, so I'm able to just check it down to him and score a touchdown here. This happens very often with people that are going to run zero blitzes. So if you need an offense to beat mid blitz or the 4-3-6-1, this is probably the offense. Now, here I am. I'm on my second drive. He ended up scoring right away. And I'm going right back to my orbit halfback sail. Again, I can tell he's still in the pinch bucko. He tries to follow that orbit route. I'm able to hit Nelson again. And the reason this is happening is this guy right here, he's moving with Hunter, right? So he moves across the field. Here's the user. He is trying to get this orbit down here. He's looking to try to... A lot of times when you're running motion, people like to follow the motion. Bad news for him, I'm able to hit Nelson on this little flat route again and get a big, beefy gain off of it. Now, the other formation I like to run is out of gun doubles. And again, as you can see, I've got two orbit plays. I've got this orbit RPO read Y flat, and I've also got the orbit quarterback power RPO. And I've got a slip screen, and there's a couple other different orbit motions out of it. But in this case, I decided to run the flat, and he's still running pinch bucko. So this time I try to hit the orbit, and he's got it. If I replay the play back, in hindsight, I should have honestly hit Lindenmeyer on this little flat route, but I ran it to the short side of the field. So looking back, I should probably run it to the wide side, that little flat route, and let the orbit go to the short side. But anyways, so I lose a couple of yards there, and I decide to run the orbit Y sail out of gun doubles. So this time I decided to get rid of the orbit motion because, I could probably have ran it against this guy every single play because he's running the same play on defense, but when I take it off, I like to usually put this guy in a smoke, and I'm able to hit it right away. But he's in man coverage, so he's probably going to cover it pretty well. Here, he's in man coverage. I've got this tight end open, and I've also got this post getting open down the field. I missed my green window, so now we're on to third down. Now, for third down, I go back to the motion mesh traffic. What I was thinking in my head, I was like, I'm going to try to hit this flat route again. I already got a big gain off of it earlier, and I don't, but this guy's wide open, so I was able to hit Lindenmeyer down the field. So he's got me to a 4th and 5, and I'm going to go back to the orbit Y sail. And a big reason for this is because, you know, the orbit was already working pretty well, so I'm like, I might as well just keep going to it. And this time I do run this flat route to the wide side of the field. Now, what happens here is I'm able to hit the orbit pretty easily. And I'll rewind it just to kind of break it down why I was able to hit that so easy. Here I'm slowing it down, and I'm running this orbit again. And he is still motioning with it, but he gets caught up on another defender. So I was able to hit that orbit right away and pick up a first down. So there I'm able to pick up a first down on the orbit, and I go back to my gun doubles, and I decide to run the quarterback power out of it. So again, I'm going to get this motion coming from the outside receiver, and I decide to take it right up the middle with my quarterback. This is like an RPO, so I can either just, you know, throw it out to the orbit or run it up the middle. So next play, I decide to go back to the sail play. And again, the reason why I'm just kind of spamming these plays is because it works versus man zero blitz. This is what you want to be running against it. So what I'm looking for here is for him to follow. He's still in it, and I decide to try to hit the post route, and I'm able to get it. Now, I had almost every route on the field open there, but that's how I scored my second touchdown in this game. On to our third drive, I first play of the drive, I come out in the orbit RPO, the quarterback power RPO, and I decided to try to hit the orbit late, and I don't really gain any yards. Now, if I had to go back, what I would have done is probably hit this a little bit earlier, because if I would have hit it like right now, I probably would have gained yards, but I kind of hesitated because I thought about taking it up the middle with the quarterback. Also, if I could have made a miss, I might have been able to have a better result on the play. Now here I am back in gun doubles, and I'm running the sail play. And this time I decided to try to hit the tight end, and he's wide open, but I miss on the throw. I had a lot of pressure in my face, but he won't get out of his pinch bucko, so I'm not going to get out of my offense that's beating his defense. So I go back to the motion mesh, and we'll let this play out. And I had X open right here. And I meant to hit him, but I hit the wrong button, so I ended up throwing a pick six there. But if you go back and look, I had X is wide open, square is coming open, so I could have hit that post too. And honestly, if I would have been able to lead this more outside, I probably would have been in okay shape. But we move on from it. Now, I get the ball back, and here I am, and I'm going to run the mesh, or the sail play again. And this time, I'm looking at the tight end. He gets open, able to hit it, and green that. This time, I think he does switch up his defense. I can tell by his front, and I decide to run the quarterback power, and I'm able to get a big gain on it. I'm just trying to show you kind of what's going through my head and how I'm creating a cohesive flow on offense. So I go back to the sail play, and I'm able to hit the little underneath route. And honestly, this was kind of a bad read by me. And I'll kind of break down why I think that. So here, the reason why I threw this so quick is because he kind of got caught up on Lindenmeyer. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to throw it here. Now, he does look like he is pretty open, but realistically, this guy's manned up on this guy, and I've got this post route, which he ended up getting way more open. If I just play it a little bit, you kind of see that he was about to get open. But I end up hitting that underneath route, and he misses on jumping the flat route. So now I got him biting on the flat route. So I'll kind of go into what I'm thinking on the next drive to show you how I can keep him guessing. So again, I go back to the gun double sail, and he's back in his pinch bucko. I can tell by he's got his nose tackles up over my center. So I run the orbit, and nothing was really open here. So he must not have been running the pinch bucko, or he made a bunch of macros. But nothing's open. I've got no pressure. He only rushed 3, so I end up stepping up in the pocket and taking my easy first down on that. So in the next play, I decided to go back to that orbit flat route, and I'm kind of trying to hit the tight end, and I didn't. So now I got myself to 3rd and 15. And what I call on this 3rd and 15 is I'm like, I feel like he's probably guessing the pass, so I decided to go with the orbit power read. Pretty much as I'm coordinating the offense, I'm trying to make everything look the same. That's why I'm just kind of spamming these orbit plays. But here's a play I've never ran, and I'm able to get right around the edge. And honestly, if I had the wide side of the field, I probably would have gained the first down there. But now I get me to a manageable 4th and 5 situation. And I decided to go into trips tight end. So now I'm kind of getting out of the orbit motion. And I cook up this route combo, and I cook up this route combo. Pretty much what I'm looking for is a slant or this little drag route coming behind it. Now, I've got this guy open. I've also got this guy open. I try to highball it, and I end up missing the green. So then he's able to get a pick, but I thought it was a pretty good read. Now, on to my next drive. I was able to get the ball back. He turned it over, and I go back into that split sail play. And he's back in his pinch bucko. He follows. And sort of what I'm looking for here is he's manned up on Lindenmeyer himself. I have no idea where the guy that was supposed to be on Nelson was, so I throw it out to him, and I'm kind of off to the races. He ends up getting the tackle, though. So next play, I go back into an orbit play, but it's the orbit power O, or RPO power, and I'm able to score with my quarterback. So now he's kind of flustered. I've got him guessing. He don't know if I'm throwing the flat route, the post. He don't know if I'm taking off with my quarterback. And that's really the goal when you're creating your offensive scheme, is you want everything to look the same. In using motion, it's super easy to make everything look relatively similar. And a lot of times with motion, they want to try to follow the motion, which makes it even a better offensive scheme. In this case, I decided to go with the F twins over, and I go with this jet cross screen. What I'm hoping for is that he's going to try to follow that motion by the wideout, that little jet motion, and I'm able to throw it to the running back. Again, he didn't really follow, but I was still able to hit that, and that's how I gain a first down. I like to kind of call screens when I'm 2nd and long, 3rd and long. So there I was able to get a nice first down. And now I'm kind of trying to switch up what I'm calling. I kind of want to save my orbits for when it gets really important. So I decided to get into the spread Y flex. And the play I call is this H shallow cross play. The reason why I picked that play is because he's doing a really bad job at using the running back, so I'm hoping that I can hit him. And there I wasn't able to, but I did have that receiver open down the field, but I didn't quite have the arm strength. So now I'm back to 3rd and 10, and I decided to call it again because I did see how open that outside receiver was. In this case, he didn't use that flat route, and I'll kind of break it down. So I'm guessing, so here he is manned up. He's supposed to be guarding this guy. Well, since it's, one of those cross table routes, there's another name for them. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But pretty much he's running a table route just across the field. He's going to be super behind it. So I was able to hit it right there and get a big, 20, 25 yard gain. So this time I decided to go with a motion RPO out of the trips tight end. And I feel like I might have got lucky here, but this guy, he kind of comes down and tries to get the running back. I was trying to hit this flat route, but he was guarding it, so I was able to take it up the middle with my quarterback. And that His DN ended up missing the tackle. He probably should have made it, but again, that's just another way of me using motion. Now I go back to this H shallow route, and he's still in pinch bucko. So here I'll let the play out, and I've got the drag wide open. Now he must have been running like a macro out of it, I'm guessing, or no, he ran cover 4 quarters. So I end up picking up a first down on like a little quarterback run, but I go back to the shallow and the drag's open again. Here I decide to introduce a new motion play, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit this running back. And what happens is I'm able to hit him, but he ends up playing a good user and makes the tackle. So now I'm down to 3rd and 7. And on this 3rd and 7, I decide to run the split halfback sail route or play. So again, he's in man coverage. I'm looking to hit the tight end. Probably could have hit him. Would have been a little bit of a tight window, but he's trying to run some macro by putting his ends on zones, so that's why I'm sitting here with so much time in the pocket, and I'm able to hit that little angle route with the running back. Next play, I go back to that split formation, but run the power read. I don't really gain much out of it. 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6, I decided to go into trips tight end. I ran a couple plays out of trips tight end, and I'm just trying to keep him guessing here. Here's a route combo that I really like. Just put this middle of the trip side on a little flat route, and then I'm looking to hit either the post or this backside drag. We'll let this play out. I'm guessing he's in man, and yes, he is. I can tell because there's no zone over here. This guy's manned up, this guy's manned up, this guy is, and so is this guy. So I'm hoping that I get a little bit of time in the pocket. I do, and I'm able to hit that deep post route, score a touchdown there. Here's a 3rd and 6. I'm back to the orbit sail, but this time what I'm doing is I'm putting this Barney. I'm going to have him on a little comeback route. The reason why I decided to go with this is because I'm not looking to throw hot this time. I'm not looking to throw right away. In the past, I kept trying to throw it to this angle or this tight end because those are 2 quick routes that get open. But if you remember from the previous drive, he kept putting his ends in zones, and he was running macros with the pinch bucko. So I'm guessing that I'm going to get a lot of time in the pocket, and I'm going to be able to hit this comeback route. And let's see what happens. Run that little orbit. And I have a bunch of time in the pocket. His end is on a little curl flat, and the reason why he's doing this is because I've hit this tight end, I've hit this flat route a bunch of times, so he's worried about that. He's having to change his defense, but again, I've always got something in my back pocket, so I'm able to kind of play a chess match with him. So I end up hitting Barney on the little comeback route, able to get a first down, and look, I have 6 passing touchdowns this game, which is honestly rare for me. I don't normally play every game like this, but if I'm playing a cheeser, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to run these over motions until they stop running their man coverage. So now I'm just kind of trying to play keep away, and I'm running a power read play that I love. I went over this in previous videos. I was able to gain maybe like a yard, or actually lose a yard there. And again, he's just sitting there in pinch bucko still. So pinch bucko, like I've said, it's really good against the run, so I decided to go back to that orbit quarterback RPO. And here I run it. He's following. He's a little bit behind. I maybe could have threw this. His user's still on it, but I decided to try to run it up with the quarterback, and I don't really gain anything there, unfortunately. So now I'm to 3rd and 15, and I'm like, well, he keeps running the macros with it. He's not really sending all, I think, 6 rushers come out of the pinch bucko. So I decided to put Barney back on that comeback route out of the halfback sail play. And I can tell it's man coverage still. He's running a macro. He's only got 4 rushers, so he's got some guys in zones here. So we'll let this play out. I'm able to hit that comeback route because I had a bunch of time. He didn't send all 6. Now I kind of have him on the ropes. All I really need to do is get a couple first downs and run it out. well, I decided to go back to the RPO read Y flat. And this time I am running it to the wide side. And I ended up putting a faster tight end in there. So I'm kind of eyeballing this flat route. And here I get too scared to throw it. I probably could have threw it there, but I end up letting the running back take it. I don't really gain anything. So now that I've seen that that flat route's going to be wide open, I think, why not? Let's try to run it again. I normally wouldn't do this, but in this case I did. And there, the flat route comes wide open. I'm not able to get the broken tackle or stiff arm. So now I got myself to a tough 3rd and 11, and I decide to go back to the gun doubles. And again, I'm going to be running the orbit Y sail. This time, when I'm running it though, I decide to take that post route out because I feel like it wasn't really getting open, and I decide to put the slot receiver on a crossing route. So we'll let this play out. And here, I probably could have hit the tight end. I decided to get a little greedy and hit the crossing route, and I'm able to hit that and score a touchdown. I pretty much have won the game at this point. So anyways, to recap, that's how I personally beat all the man zero blitzes, is I do it with motion. I know I've seen a few other people use motion or use RPO flats to beat it, and it's really doable doing that. It does work against other coverages. It will work against zone coverage, and honestly, if you guys want to see me create a video on how I like to, or what I'm looking for and how I run it against zone coverage and whatnot, just let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.